Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Your Way podcast. So the topic that I want to explore today is something that has been, to a greater or lesser extent, part of my approach since I started working with a coach in 2019. And those of you who have worked with me will have heard me talk about have a plan, but hold it lightly. And this is what we are going to dig into today. And the reason why I think this is such an important thing to explore is throughout our lives, parents, school, jobs, society, we get given this incredibly long list of should, everything that we should be doing, everything that we should be achieving, the points in time that we should be achieving it by. And we can often have these metrics of success that have been given to us, but aren't necessarily our own metrics of success. And so then we go into life looking at what we want to achieve, what our goals are, and we're kind of blindly following somebody else's plan, and we're not coming back to our own plan, okay? So that's the first thing that I want you to maybe just contemplate. You might want to pause this, you might want to do some journaling, or maybe write it down and come back to it later. If you look at all of the shoulds that you have in your life, how many of them are shoulds that you would now choose for yourself? And what does your version of success look like? And what needs to happen? And what needs to go so that you can make your version of success a reality? Because where we kind of blindly follow other stuff, we can end up at this destination and it's like, okay, well, I'm here, I've arrived. But it doesn't feel like I thought it was meant to feel. And it's not giving me what I need. And then we sort of take this step back and it's like, oh, because actually this plan that I've just followed was not my plan. Okay. And even when we put our own plan together, it's very, very hard to know how we will grow and evolve and change as time goes on. So if we don't come back to revisit the plan, again, we can just be blindly following this. This is the path I need to take. And then we kind of get there and it's like, oh no, wait, I've gone off course somewhere, or I haven't gone off course, but this isn't the destination that I was really hoping for. Or maybe we don't even know what the destination is. So something that I have played around with for the last 5 years, and honestly, this has taken time, is to be less rigid in the plan and to allow more flexibility, big scale and small scale. So in terms of like overall big goals, but also how I do my day to day, so that rather than having this very strict plan, I've got a general direction of travel, but then I create enough space so that I can allow life and the natural rhythms of life and my energy and where life is leading me to guide the plan. Now, if you tend to be someone who manages yourself with a lot of controls, a lot of organization, and a lot of like, I need the plan, I need the steps, this can be quite a confronting and uncomfortable thing to do. So we want to just do baby steps with this, right? It's why often I talk about asking the questions of what do I need and do I have the energy for this? So those questions start to gently teach the system that it's okay to consider where we are at a certain point in time, what we need, where we're being pulled, okay? And another thing that I don't think as a society we look at enough is our energy, but also the natural rhythms of what is going on around us. You know, we are designed to achieve more and push, not in a negative way, but push more in, say, spring and summer than we are in autumn and winter, where it's more about hibernation and rest and rejuvenation, right? females listening to this podcast, there are different points in our cycle for resting and pushing. And if you want to learn more about that, the episode that I did with Emily Slahetka, went back when this was the Embodied Life Coaching podcast, is a great one to listen to, because she talks about this on there. So the invitation this week, in whatever way it feels safe for you to start to explore this, because this is about doing it your way, right? Not my way. It is. Can you start to pay attention to where life is leading you and move away from some of the shoulds to just notice? Okay, so maybe your plan was to, I don't know, say you're training for a marathon and your plan is to go and do a long run on the weekend, and you wake up and you feel tired and you feel groggy and you feel exhausted on the Saturday morning, but Saturday was the run plan. Instead of doggedly being like, but I need to run because this was the plan, can you take Saturday to rest and to nourish yourself and to fill your cup back up a bit, and then see how you feel on the Sunday, right? Maybe Sunday is the day for you, and maybe it isn't. And maybe in terms of career progression, or when you are meant to, if you're not watching this on video, I'm doing the inverted commas with my fingers, meant to have settled down, got married, have kids, do all of those different things. It's like, well, can I take a step back and look at, where is life leading me? What feels good for me? What do my energy levels support right now, right? And so in the context of a broader plan. So I know that I need to get on here and record a podcast once a week. Now, sometimes I might record multiple in a week because my energy is great, and then other weeks I do less. But I know at some point this needs to get done, right? Now, the timing, the content, and all of the rest of it, I allow that to be a looser thing, because it's, well, what's going on for me at the moment? What's going on for my audience? What are the themes? What needs to be talked about? Whereas if in January I was like, right, I'm going to set out all of the key things for the podcast the entire year, and this is what's going to happen, and then I doggedly followed that, there would be episodes that jarred with me because they weren't where I was at, or I wouldn't be serving you, because very often what is going on for me is what is going on for you, and we kind of mirror each other. So love you to think about this and to come and let me know what your takeaways are. And also, because a lot of you will be more A-type, because I am more A-type. So you will want a plan, you will want a structure, you will want a process. So just also noticing what comes up in you and in your body when you think about letting life guide you and letting life lead you and seeing where it takes you. So just some stuff to think about. And I genuinely believe, and you don't have to agree with me because you're doing it your way, that one of the fundamental keys of allowing ourselves to follow where life is leading us is to develop a greater sense of self and a greater sense of self-trust. Because when we trust ourselves to achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve without it having to be this very strict 9-step plan, when we've got that trust, when we've got that ability to lean into where we are being guided, it's much, much easier to kind of go off course, take the scenic route, see what happens, because we haven't got this internal fear of, well, I don't trust myself. If I haven't got a plan, I'm not going to achieve it. I'm going to end up homeless under a bridge somewhere, and it's all going to be an absolute disaster. And so step one with this, as with so many things, it is, how do we start to get in touch more with ourselves, what we need, and that ability to trust the messages that we are receiving and to go with them. And if you would like some support to dive into this, come to the next Find Your Voice class. So Find Your Voice is an hour and 15-minute masterclass that I put on every month. It's very, very, very high value content, but at a low, low price. So the cost of the class is £29. And if you're following me on social media, you will often see an opportunity to get it for £19 a bit before. There's generally a pre-sale before the class comes up. And that class is all about helping you to find your voice, use your voice, tune into what you need so that you can start to build this greater sense of self-trust. So the class this month is on the 21st of November at 4 p.m. UK time. You will find the information in the link in the show note. Highly, highly recommend that you come to that so that you can start to get into that space of, okay, I can now hear my own internal voice. I can use my own internal voice, and I can start to build more safety and more self-trust so that I can follow where life is leading me. And whilst I may still have a plan of thought, I can hold it much more loosely. So some of the controls and the rigidity can fall away, because that's when you feel that internal ease and freedom and peace that I know you are all after. So check out the show notes, come to the class, come and let me know what has resonated this week. Have a beautiful week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.